Your body kind of gets what they call adjusted to the new climate that is taking place. Amen. Amen. But we're here on this morning at 8:45 here at Radical Christ Ministry, waiting on this word that God has given me on this morning, and it's so interesting. I don't even want to prolong time. Let us stand and turn to Psalms 39 and 7. Say amen when you get it. If this message is a little touching to somebody, then go fall on your knees and pray to God. Don't approach me with this. I'm just holding the message. And it's so amazing. Folks quick to get mad at the preacher, because I didn't even say it. Stepping all on my toes. Hallelujah. Psalms 39 and 7. And it reads, "And now, Lord, what do I wait for?" Question mark. My hope is in you. Deliver me from all my transgressions. Do not make me the reproach of the foolish. You may be seated. This is going to be a rough one. I was sitting there, I'm like, okay, God, I woke up at 3 something. That's usually time to talk to you. They said, I want to talk to you right now. I'm getting my time straight. So I'm like, okay. Got on this morning and got ready to look over again. And as soon as I got here, that's when he started dealing with me back in the room back there. But it reads, "And now, Lord, what do I wait for? My hope is in you. Deliver me from all my transgressions. Do not make me the reproach of the foolish." And if you need a topic, this is the topic. High hopes, but not in God. High hopes, but not in God. Amen. I'm reminded, how many of you all have had some disappointments in life when you have sat there and you have watched other things and watched, I don't know who has been the ideologue, the light in your eyesight that made you paint your picture of how you wanted the life story to become or to be, or maybe you may have had some dreams later on down the line that showed you that this is how this is going to look and this is how this is going to be, and you're all so excited and you're like, wow, ain't nothing unfolded, but you're so excited and you're like, wow. So the thing is, you keep going on and you even share your dreams with some of your friends at the time and say, hey, you know, I had a dream and my husband was 6 feet tall and muscular. He was an athlete, y'all, and I moved to Beverly Hills and all this other stuff. Well, maybe as a man said, well, you know, I got this $100,000 job I saw because I like messing with rocks and stuff. And I got this job with this company exploring rocks and I mean, all this stuff. And we're at the present stage, but we're looking into a dream that we hope is going to come true. And one of the things that we as Christians fail to do when God gives us dreams is that we don't put them so high to the place that we don't understand. In order to get to that dream, God has to mold you to that dream. And see, people get the cow by the tail when things don't happen the way we saw it. We get mad at God and say He ain't for real. So I'm asking God in the atmosphere, why are all these people out here doing this crazy stuff and siding with crazy folks talking crazy stuff? And God said, because they were dream chasers and not dream chasers of me. So I'm just like, oh my God. So recently he just told me, he said, they got so high-minded in themselves that they forgot to get high-minded in me. They forgot the dream came from me, not from them. So when we get our dreams, we usually do our own thing. We say, okay, I'm going to get out of Cleveland. I'm going to take Highway 61. I'm going to go up, and I'm just going to ride into the sunset. And wherever I stop, that's where I'm going to be. And that's where I'm going to land my new life, my new this, my new that. But you get there, and all hell breaks loose. This is what we're messing up at. So begin to understand why all these folks run behind Donald Trump and all these Gutenbergs and icebergs and all this old stuff that sounds good to the itching ear. It's because their dreams have folded. And they got to turn around and blame somebody. So somebody that's talking news crazy to them. That's what they last to. I'm like, oh my God. Look at all these high-minded people that thinking. I was reading on Facebook the other day. Well, one of our very own sister in Christ, not offending you, but I'm just going what I read. She have endorsed Donald Trump. And I'm like, oh my God, Paula, how can you do some crazy stuff like that? But you know, there's always a hidden, what they call a hidden ribbon. And I went on to read a little bit more. She has some investment in the Trump estate. So listen here, how all these people of God who stand before God's people deliver these messages and think that God is not going to uncover you in the midst of your mess because you got so high-minded that you are untouchable, unseeable, that you can get away with whatever you want to and think God ain't watching you. God said, I have a specific time that I'm going to come and dream dreams with you again. It ain't going to be the dreams that you thought it was. God is getting to a place where he's showing himself so amazing because I'm beginning to think, how can, if this year of Jubilee, how can he deliver all this good stuff and all this crazy stuff going on? What God is doing, he's going, how many know that God can do more than one than we can? He can do 50 million things at one time, and we'll be like, oh my God. God is shipping up the people who've been acting corrupt and crazy, but he's delivering blessings to those who've been patiently waiting. If you read on down the further into Psalms 39, and I hope I ain't lost my spot, because this was so interesting when he gave it to me a while ago. If you go down, it said, in verse 9, I was mute. I did not open my mouth because it was you who did. These are the people that God is paying attention to. He's showing up on their front door, showing up on their job, showing up in their finances, showing up in their miracle healings and stuff. This is what God is doing. But at the same time, we can be behooved because we got a dream and we watch these dream chasers fade out into the sunset. This is so amazing how we can get so high-minded in what God is trying to get us to versus what we're trying to get to. Y'all remember the story of Joseph? Joseph was this unique man. They said he was handsome and all this other stuff, but he had some very interesting points in his life that he started broadcasting. And you know, sometimes you just can't broadcast your dreams here. Right? Now, one reason because everybody's got a dream interpreter. Some people are some dream records. And if you tell me a dream, I don't care if they're sisters or brothers or mothers or husbands or wives, they gonna somehow feel like, how come I didn't get that dream? Yeah, I'm happy for it, but I'm really not happy for it after my back turn. I'm gonna wreck her dream because she ain't gonna leave me out here high and dry. These are the kind of people that we have to understand. That's when God said, when we're to the point that he gives us pastors, teachers, and all these other things, we have to understand the work that they have that he done brought to the house. We need to use that because we don't know what's coming through them doors. Yes. And I tell you one thing, if you're a preacher or teacher and you ain't got no discernment, you're already defeated. Because they're coming in looking all beautiful, tight, and look like a Coke bottle, a six-pack, and all this other stuff, and you're watching yourself like, whoa, did you see that new guy that came to our church? Who don't know he's held behind water. And you just watch your little dreams up to the this my husband. I'm talking about even I'll tell you in high school. That's him. And you go over there and start talking with this joker. And this joker gonna give you all the icing you need to get your cake looking real nice. And when you get there and you cut that cake, you're gonna realize there wasn't no cake on the inside. This is what we have to get so high-minded. So I don't understand why our youngsters and our older people, it's time for me to get married. Oh, that's why I'm going to get some folks married. It's time to get married. Who told you it's time to get married? Because you've been dreaming and daydreaming and deja vuing and all this stuff. And then people who've been itching, oh, this is what gets me. You itch so much to the point where I'm going to go ahead and do this. The Bible didn't say if you burn, go ahead and do it. That's crazy. You better read between the lines. He said, if you're itching, your thing is to wait. Well, it's better to what's that saying all the time? It's better to go ahead and itch. What is it? Yeah, go ahead and get married and burn. Well, you're going to burn anyway if it ain't the right one. So I'm so amazed. How can you tie God's word into your personal endeavor? You got so high-minded that I got to have somebody under my arms to walk this thing. No, God ain't dealing with the two. He's dealing with the one. And if the one ain't right, you done messed up the two. This is what we at. We got to get to the place where it's all about what he's getting us to do, what we dream that he's going to manifest our dreams. And this is where we're at. So people get married for 15 years, and 15 years of hell are right over them, and they blaming God. This is what it is with me. God, it's your fault that I ended up with this devil. He said, no, you started playing with the devil before you even realized he was the devil. But if you'd have stayed in me, you'd have realized this is not the one. This is where we at. Joseph had a unique story. And I'm going to go over real briefly, but you go back to Genesis, I think around 40 or something like that. It'll tell you about this part when he was incarcerated. Now, he had brothers. Those were the deceitful brothers. They maneuvered him till they got him to the place where they said, he's going to ruin what we got going on. So they got him in prison, y'all. That's amazing. How can you send your own siblings to prison? We still doing today is just not behind bars. We locking their mind up to the point they can't go any further. Don't tell these people your dreams. They're not ready for them. They're not produced to be them. Oh my God, I wish I could teach on the mountain. They are not in your future. I don't care if you was born with them, you came out Chinese, you look at, you are not to tell your dreams to everybody. Because this is a faith walk. And faith comes by hearing, not and doing of his story. This is what we mess up in. We think, this is my mama, this is my dad, this is my cousin, and he a preacher up in Chicago, and he got all this. You don't know what that rascal doing when he ain't preaching. Don't put all your high hopes and stuff in all these people. That's why I tell all the time, especially my sons, all these rappers and movie stars, they look good on TV because that's money. But behind closed doors, these jokers are doing from any and everything. And why are you so shocked when something really comes out on? Oh, I ain't know he was doing that. This is why you understand. It's good because it's on TV. That's the entertainment area. So it entertains your mind while you ain't got nothing else going on. But in reality, you need to understand that even you being entertained, that you start entertaining other folks. I want to wear the dewdrops. I want to wear this. I want to wear that. I want to look just like him. You done lost your stone cold mind. And you wonder why we as parents walk in, who are you? What you doing in my house? It's not my son. So we can't get to the point instead of dreaming. I got one guy, I'm getting off the subject. Walked in last week before I left, and I'm so glad my manager handled it because I really didn't want to deal with it today, but walked into work with some cut-off new boxes. I don't know what them things is, I don't know what you call it. But then had some socks come way up here to match his knee boxes. It had marijuana seed plants on the side. You coming to work? Really? And I'm standing over there eating omelet. I'm like, let me turn this way, because I'm not really believing what I'm looking at walking through this door. I'm just going to turn this way, and I'm going to hope the manager do what they're supposed to do, because if not, I'm going to deal with two issues now. But luckily, thank God, God had a hand on her. She said, you can't come in here like that. What's wrong with you? I guess she was saying, you don't see the ball. Turn around and send them out the door. But it's amazing how these young folks feel like they can do whatever they want, when they want. They're so high-minded right now. Oh my God, we talk about high-minded. And this is what's going to kill them later on. When I say kill them, either going to kill their dreams or actually kill them. You're to a point you're so high-minded, but God is not in the midst. You feel like you can disrespect adults, you can disrespect teachers, you can disrespect folks because you're a man, you want to rise up. You don't understand. You just knocked 10 to 5 to 10 years off your life. You don't know who you was entertaining while you was huffing and puffing. He didn't blow all the houses down, did he? The big bad wolf. He only got 2 of us. But it's to a point you don't know who you're entertaining while you're trying to prove who you are. You're still a little boy. If you're my age, you ain't my age, you're a little boy to me. Or you're a little man, or a young man. You're a little girl, or a young girl. But it's to the point they feel like in school, they run the system. But they fail to realize an uneducated person only survive on uneducated stuff. That means you do what only you see need to be done. And I tell my colleagues that I grew up with, they look at me and tell me, ooh, man, you prosper. I've been watching you on Facebook, and man, I see you. And they look like they about 15 years older. But I knew we played in the same playground. We played on the same street. We hung out at the same houses. How did you age this fast? And they were sitting there just, and it's amazing to me. But it's to the point they come out, well, you know, I didn't have that opportunity that you have. That's a lie. You did. Walmart and wearing your shoes, and then when your dream came to the end, I said, your dream ain't come like our dream. Your dream of selling drugs came to the end. Your wad got lower. Your speech got a little this, now you're ready to offend and be seeing something that you ain't even really feel. And you find yourself looking like Bethune-Cookman, no offense, college, to a place where you just, and it's amazing. We're the same age, but you look like this. This is what God is trying to say even on this morning. There are a lot of high-minded folks out there. And I was even talking to a young man who wants me to marry them. Oh my God. I used to all the other preachers. I tell you sure? Because it don't come easy. We have to counsel these young folks. They say you can't get married, but do you know what marriage is? That's one of the questions I'm going to ask. Do you really know how to define that word? Why are you going to something you don't even know what it's about? And then do you know the consequences and all the repercussions and all of this that goes behind it? I ain't even get to the part you're talking about, because what got you there was the SEX. But you don't realize the SEX has an X at the end. You're going to end up with the X. This is what we have to understand. Marriage is not all about sex. It's not all about all the little things. Or what is it, equally yoked? You're not equally yoked. Equally yoked ain't got nothing to do with your saying you like the same colors, or you like the same kind of music, or you like the same kind of style of this. You're crazy. That's not equally yoked. Equally yoked means that you have a bond with this man, and you have been raised to the point that you have to share your knowledge of what he has already instilled in you, and vice versa, where you can mix and become a powerhouse. And you can walk down some things, and you can tear down some strongholds, and you do all this, and you know what gets me, and I can't wait till this men come. We got a lot of little men walking around here that feel like that they have to lean, what's that song, lean, whatever, I forgot the name of the song. You lean in the wrong direction. You are what? M-A-N. And if you go back while we in Genesis talking about Joseph, God gave man three things. Three little simple things to do. Adam messed it up because he went back to eat leaves. Uh-oh, y'all know what I'm talking about. I ain't gonna go there. I'm being out, but I'm gonna stay in my zone today. He began to see how beautiful this thing God created for him, because he was out there by himself. And he went from looking at her face to her face. Y'all know where I'm going. And he got all off track because he forgot when he was face to face with God. He told him, these are things you need to get done. All this is done, but this is what you need to get done. And when men don't understand, all you got to do is protect, provide, and cultivate, you're on the road. Because those are three things God told you. Even if you're single, if you start doing it now, it'll be easier when you pull somebody out their comfort zone and say, I want you my helpmate. God showed me you my helpmate. I want you won't be sitting there when they're doing cross seas while your little baby messing you up. You look like you should bless her. And you know what? It's crazy. It may be some of the weddings do work. And it's weird. Go fish. But it's to a place where men have to understand our role. And we get so high-minded because we feel like, Mom can't tell us nothing right now. She ain't married. Dad can't tell me nothing. He ain't even in my life. So I'm do my own thing. But then you struggle. And this is what God is talking about, even in the point when he's talking to Joseph. Joseph had some dreams. And Joseph felt like, he was a man of God. And then he was sold out by his brothers. Then he went on to where he went to. Y'all read the story, right? Y'all read someday. That's when you should study and show yourself true. See, we're going to get this stuff, then go back and work on little Leroy, your cousin. Man, I'm telling you, this is what Joseph had dreams. You don't even know the story. You just heard what I said, and you go back and tell them, don't do that. I mean, you say that, well, don't do that. This is what he's talking about. Joseph had dreams, and even when Joseph bypassed being turned on by his brothers, got to this place where he was in, to this palace or whatever, in prison, then he started, how they do, work themselves off. The king brought him forward, and all this other stuff. And then the king somehow, because the wife, he wouldn't bow down to the wife. Y'all read the story. She made advances at him and come like, you ain't gonna do this, then my husband's king. So he ended up in prison. And that's where his dreams really got to me to the point of the high hope. Two other people was in prison with him, the chief baker and the butler, the chief butler. And if one night they all had a dream. And they came to Joseph because, he interpreted dreams. And the butler gave his interpretation of what his dream was. And Joseph, this is what that means. I ain't gonna tell y'all gotta read, it's interesting. Then here comes the chief baker. That's the person who takes all the bakers and stuff before the king eats. This is my dream. And Joseph interpreted dreams correctly. And it's to the point that felt like, how this man can interpret dreams, but he in prison. But see, at the same time, you gotta understand, even in the midst when you're in your downfall, or you consider downfall, God is working with you to get you to your dream. But it didn't say that you didn't have to go through prison. Joseph had to go through prison, had to go through all this other stuff, even to the point, now that's amazing, the very person that put him in prison had to come back and use him because he had a dream. I've been reading my Pharaoh. I'm trying to tell y'all, we got to understand this high mindedness, and all this high hope stuff that we got going on. If God ain't in the midst, ain't nothing going to manifest. I don't care how you get a bunch of dummies, excuse my language, but I'm on high right now. You get a bunch of folks who don't even know what you talking about, and sit them to the table and try to groom them to make you look good. You're already defeated. Because God is not in the midst. It's too many high-minded folks around here that ain't using God. It's the same thing when you got a business plan. If you ain't got all your N's and your I's dotted and your T's crossed, it ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work. And you got all these people, when I said dream chasers, dreams for sale, and you got about 1,500 of them coming at you. With you, man. This man is about to send you back to Kumbaya land. I was so proud how God, he steps in when he wants to. Chicago, he's supposed to have a rat. I'm talking about Donald Trump. Hey, Trump, this is not about you. This is about the things you think you do. He tried to rally in Chicago. Like, you went to North Carolina, South Carolina, all these places. You done thrown black folks out. You done kicked people out and had even some of your Ku Klux Klan folks that's spitting and hitting on folks. But you thought you were going to walk into the Windy City. And you wonder why they call it the Windy City. Black folks talking every which way, north, south, east, and west. The wind blows in Chicago. And when I saw on Facebook how all those folks shut down, I said, wow, now we might look at it in the natural, those folks riding. They ain't riding. That's God said, I'm tired of this. We want to let you see something. So he orchestrated a little mass of few folks, couple hundred, that shut his rally down. Even the police said, we can't handle this. We ain't going to have it in Chicago. We might want to all cancel this. God is trying to tell us, Trump, you got high hopes, but God ain't in the midst. And all these folks that are selling their souls to the devil, you better listen. Because this is the year of Jubilee, and God is pouring out his spirit on a lot of flesh. And I'm telling you, his sons and daughters are rising up. People you thought that couldn't sing, or looked like they was able to sing, or couldn't preach, and they've been called to the ministry, they told you about it, and you let them stay on in that corner till mold them out of them. God's going to break them up out of it. It might not be you. Pastors, I'm sorry to tell you that. God is raising his folks up, and he's pulling them out of all this craziness, because the word got to get out to the folks. Folks have lost hope. Folks have lost their whole passion. They don't come to church. And if they go to church, they go over there and they ain't even get the word. You get this. That's what you get. I don't care how many brothers I'm going to talk to you. Don't work with you. I'll talk about you to again. It's time out for that. These people need the word so they can survive. Because the enemy is lurking. I'm trying to tell you. Ain't come on paying my time. No, you're paying for that building. You're paying for whatever else expense that the dream chaser they came up with. Oh my God, come on. I can say that. I don't get no salary. Y'all be all right, please. This is what God is talking about. We are missing it. And we're messing his folks up. But I'm telling you, woe to you. You may look pretty right now. But I hate when I walk through the hospital. Somebody I saw in the flesh that was full and vibrant. sure you have, because now you ain't who you thought you was. Or you to that point where you are trying to figure out if God going to take me, or why is I laying here? You can cut it off right now, preachers, pastors, ministers, or prophets, evangelists, and all these other things that you're working under, and just feed his sheep. Oh my God. That's all you gotta do. Feed his sheep, and they will take care of you. That's how you get your blessings. But if you come around here, I gotta bring my check stub for you to get my tithe percentages, you done lost your mind. In that case, you ought to put tithing on your receipt. So when you get the check, you know how much it's supposed to go. They do it if you're paying child support, instead of the child support, blah, blah, blah. Let me get out of here. Because I'm going to drop some calls. I'm going to find it. High hopes. High hopes is what God is talking about. Bring it down. Go back to your war room and say, God, what is it that you require of me as your understudy? I need some guidance because I got a little bit off track. My people are leaving me, and all my people are talking about me, and I'm sitting right here trying to sustain, and I'm looking like ugly duckling trying to get up before the smoke. Lord, I done did some crazy stuff, and people are talking about me over here. They looking at me crazy over here. God, quit being high-minded and lower yourself. It's called humble. And when you humble, submit yourself back to God, He can raise you back up. But right now, so many folks out of whack. And you wonder why ministers are popping up over here. And people starting in all that. It might look crazy, but they have. Uh-oh. They ain't got to listen to all this awful stuff. They ain't got to listen to all this crazy stuff. They have it. And this is where you need to go. You go where you can get saved. Not where you go and bleed. I come here with problems. I want to leave here with at least some of them worked out. This is where we at. And I'm just... God says too much hiding is going on. In the spiritual arena, if you can see it, y'all thought Hurricane Katrina came in and this and that. That one little big tornado, was whirling over Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, and went over and did that. One. Now imagine he said 15 at one time. I'm just looking at the hot water just rising up out here, and people all on it talking about, Lord, need to come. We need to vote. You're making sarcasm out of it, but God is sending some signals. You talk about this and that, He haven't trapped you just with water. You can't get out your house. Matter of fact, the water meet you in your house. All that stuff you talking about, robbing people, pay Paul, I ain't got no flood insurance. Well, I ain't worried about that, there ain't no flood here. I tell you, don't tax me. He done made water rise down from Louisiana, Houston, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama. Water have come into folks' houses and businesses. And we sit around here taking this as a joke. It's not a joke. And keep talking about it's going to rain some more. It's probably real. Now, imagine they did 40 days and 40 nights back then. We just got 3 or 4 days. 3 or 4 days. I slept one of them days. I wasn't even worried. I was in the house, didn't even know it was daylight. This is what God is showing. We sit around here talking all this crazy stuff and want to be of this world, because my nephew had to compare me and say, you said of the world, not in the world. They on point, they be listening. I said, correct. Correct is good. But we sit around here and watch all these folks do all this stuff and think they're getting away with it. And you put yourself in harm's way. God said, I didn't tell you to do all this stuff. You got high mind. I'm going to do this. I'm going to take out a loan for $200. They say I'm approved. But you ain't making but $15 an hour. What's wrong with you? Remember that first note called $2,476. What? Now you're sitting here trying to sell your car, you're trying to ask mama for her savings. I need a little help here. Y'all don't understand, people don't want to help me. Well, who told you to get in that mess? And this is what we are. Get off there. God is saying, there's a lot of high hopes going on, but it's not in me. Joseph had to wait over 2 years when he saw 2 years prior to come manifestation, because he had to go through those channels. He had to go through those things. See, God, we fail to realize, God don't need us. God uses us. And if you want to be used, He'll use you to what you want. You say He give you desires of your heart, but even in the midst Joseph being in prison and betrayed by his brothers, God was still using him. He was interpreting dreams. He was doing all, even the king. You talk back to the king. King said, all right. And Joseph said, no, I don't think you're right. No, you might well put me back in prison, but you ain't right. And this is what's going on. At the end, when God showed up on Joseph's behalf, what he desired 2 years prior, God made it even better because when he got out of prison, he rose him on a little higher. Did he not? I want you to read the story. I ain't going to tell you all the details. He rose him up a little higher to the point that everything he was looking at that happened that might have been a dead dream, brothers incarcerated him and all this other stuff, he ended up back with family that he was able to pull family about the rug. See, you better be careful on what you talk about and how you talk about it. Because the one you try to bury will be the one probably save you from burial. This is what we had, y'all. God talking about too much hiding. I feel like I'm a woman. I can do what I want. Get out there and talk to some of them bills and see how much woman you are. I'm trying to tell you. It's easy getting off mama retirement and that $200, ooh, yeah, mama really help me out. Get out there and get the $2,000 away. Get into the thousandaire. Where you have to pump up all this money. I used to watch my mama, who raised 9 kids in a 2-bedroom house, and told me in 5th grade, son, I'm going to give you a house. I didn't catch on what she was saying. I'm going to give you a house, and we're going to get up out of here. We left 1029 Johnson Street, my 6th grade year, moved to a 3-bedroom home. Of course, a couple other sisters graduated, so it was less than a house now, thank God, they don't home. And we sit in this 3-bedroom home for about 15, 20 years, maybe 30, I don't know. Mom died and brought back to my memory what she said way back in 5th grade. I'll give you a house. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And even when I was doing my career thing, I'm talking about me being high hope, I'm in Atlanta making good 6 figures. I'm ready to buy me a 3-story house. Come my friend brother got one. Now I can show you how you can get it. And I'm about to do all this stuff, but God didn't allow me. I got summons back to Mississippi. For all this that I was about to put into Atlanta, Georgia, it was here in Mississippi. And some people, I ain't coming back home. You don't know where you're going. You be careful what you speak. I was raised here, it's dead. Well, make it lie. It ain't that the city was dead, you did. The city was here before you got here. I remember when they had the drive-in theater. Yeah, I remember, but I remember. Folks get snuck in the trunk. All this stuff, then it went away. Then they had a theater over here on the east side, or west side, whatever you want to call it. It went away. Then they had the ball now, it went away. Then they had a new ball now. So, this is what you make of it. I ain't died. I've been here, I've been in and out, but I ain't dead. I know when I get tired, I'm ready to leave. I go across the state line. This is what we in. There's too much highness going on. And floods are showing you that the higher it goes, the more worry you get. I saw what some of the folks that we were looking at my niece thought was so amazing. The water was right there at the road with traffic. I'm talking about the highway. The water right there! Yeah, the water right there. Then we saw houses where water was right there at the door. Now, we got out of the property, but that house, you better leave God alone while we talk crazy around here. God said, fight next time, but he's scared of who water. So, y'all, come on. Let's come ourselves. Let's just be patient. Don't run off the sunset because you think you got your boo thing. Your boo thing might even be your boo thing. Or maybe just a thing. I don't know. Let's go back to school. Finish up. Have something to fall back on. Get them grades while you can. You can party later. I'm talking to somebody out there. And you men, it's time to man up. All these baby making and popping waves and all this other stuff. It don't make you no man. You say that you are incapable of handling what you have created. Come back to the forefront. Take care of them babies. I ain't talking about the woman because you know y'all can fell out and she don't even want to around. But take care of your responsibilities as a man up. I ain't got no job. We're gonna look for one. Well, I put it in. We're gonna go check on it. Don't give me no. Don't talk to me. I'm gonna give you an answer every time. Because you need to get to that place that you're talking about. And God will put people in your pathway to get you there. We just need to Lower down now, we so high-minded in our pride. We so pride. We so prideful. I don't tell that man my problems. But then you still where you at then? You ain't the only one been there. You ain't the first, and you sure ain't the last. But if you're ready to surrender, I can help you. I don't know how much I can help, but whatever God tells me to do, I can do it. But He will put you around people that'll get you from where you was to where you need to be. And it's amazing how He can do that. You just have to lower your high hopes and your high mindedness and get to that place called humble yourself. And then submit yourself that God can use you and use the people that He sent to help you. This is where we at. And it was so amazing. He was talking about that. The chief butler, that person's job was to taste all the wines before the king drank it so he won't get poisoned. Now, everybody thought that was a crazy job, but I'm sure that chief butler thought that was a real good job. I don't know what boy, let me leave that alone. He had a good job, but he offended the king. The baker offended the king. And this is what's going on now. We are offending each other. And we're missing the king's dreams that he has for us. And when it don't go through, we blame my mama, daddy, cousin, my sister. I shouldn't have been hanging with her. I should have been doing my own thing. All this kind of crazy stuff. And that's what the enemy wants. He wants confusion in a time like this. Because guess what? He knows the glory. He saw the story. And he don't want you to see it. That's when stumbling blocks come up. That's when mishap happen. But God said, if you stay grounded, He can lure you through all those things. And you're talking about, well, I need that by this spring. God will work on your time clock. It's on His time clock. Because you might still have a little unforgiveness in your heart. You might still have a little backbiting in your heart. He got to get all that stuff out of you to present to you what He has for you, because God don't put no junk over His stuff. He got some real deal Holyfield stuff. And when He gives it to you, it's sustainable. He got to worry about nobody trying to steal it or whatever. It's there. So God is trying to get us to that place where let's get all these high hopes out of the way. I know we as parents, we think real highly of our kids. We want the best for them. But consult God. So I got real high hopes for you, son, but it's in God. You're the only one for God to come in and do what He needs to do. Well, you can do more than I did. You're supposed to. But in God. That's what Jesus said. I came that you might have life, have it more abundantly. Then He came back and said, I'm going to leave you. Therefore, that you may do greater works than I have done. Oh, my God. Why would we around here acting like we just been born? God is trying to send a message out. He's doing it through the weather. He's doing it through us spiritually. And He's doing it through us physically. Where you going to be at when He comes for real and ready to give you your sympathy? You're going to be out of pocket. You're going to be over here talking to somebody on me or hear the business. But anyway, the message of the day, high hopes, but not in God. Bring your level down so God can deal with you on your level. Don't go above Him. It's like we were speaking, just looking at the rain and just raining. And then you got even the weather folks talking about, well, 46 inches. Then they don't do 46 inches, but they do 3. Where they make them out? You can't figure out God. Well, it did rain, yeah, but it didn't do no 46 inches, it did 2. It didn't come back here and do 5. Well, we didn't predict that. Well, He didn't want you to. It's His rain. It's His weather. That's His show. We just got to be prepared. Because when God is ready to deliver, where you going to be at? This is what He's saying even on today. He ain't forgot about us. He ain't leaving us astray. We're leaving Him. So whatever your thoughts are, not knocking it, just go back to God. Consult Him and see if there's something on His agenda about your life. Because I'm tired of looking at these, my older folks would say sick wagons, pulling up at these folks' houses and picking up the stiffs. God is taking them out. He's taking us out. Amen. Young, old, I don't care what. He's taking us out. And we think we got time. Make use of the time you do have here. Let's trust God. Trust God. Shall we stand? My Facebook. I hope you ain't too radical with me. I'll see you posting later. Hallelujah. Let us stand.